So as we implement MTSS, I think it's really important that we take a look at which kids are receiving interventions and being able to answer the question about, is what we're doing working? So thinking about evaluating the effectiveness of the intervention can be done in a few different ways within a district. So when we think about all of the different ways that we can evaluate the effectiveness of the interventions we're putting into place, there's some important systems that you can put in, such as a program data analysis team. And that should be implemented about 9 weeks after you've started implementing interventions. And the purpose of that is to help look at how many interventions do we have going on in our district? How many kids are responding to these interventions? So not just thinking about those individual kids, but taking a step back and saying, how effective overall are these interventions? And so thinking about, pockets of success is also another really important thing. Sometimes we're asking staff to do interventions with kiddos that they haven't had training for. And so we have to take that next step and say, this interventionist or this person is having great outcomes with these students. That's not to say that this other person isn't working hard. It's to say, maybe we can have these two people work together to be able to support and identify what is working and what isn't working. So it's really important that we take the time to evaluate the overall effectiveness. And so one way is just by simply looking at kids who are responding. I think it's also important that we take a step back again and say, based on all of the kids that we've identified as needing interventions as a whole, based on general outcome measures or from one screening period to the next, are we seeing that we're closing the gap? And so take a look at the students that you've identified at the beginning of the year who are at need and that were receiving interventions. How many of them are still in that at-risk level? Maybe some of them have moved up into the maybe at-risk level, but it's important to take a look at both sets of data. So the kids who are, how many kids are receiving interventions and the response to those interventions, as well as the growth that we're seeing for students who are in intervention.